week's episode of The Voice Party is brought to you by Big Boy Raps. Get your car wrapped by some of the most experienced and skilled in the Bay. Big Boy Raps, where the big boys play.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world, welcome to yet again another mirthful episode of The Voice Party. You got yours truly, Joaquin Xavier. We got the comedian extraordinaire, JD. We got Phil Spooner on the boards, and our most auspicious guest. Introduce yourself, good sir.
Yeah, I go by Dezjion Chozen, a.k.a. Mr. Chozen, Teddy Bear Poppy, your girlfriend's favorite friend.
Teddy Bear Poppy, that's fucking.
Teddy Bear Poppy.
I think I want to use that on stage. That's awesome, Teddy Bear Poppy, man. I'm not gonna use it, but like, goddamn, I was like, why didn't I think of that?
That's a great AKA.
Teddy Bear Poppy,
especially in like the recent trend where like, you know, women are buying more music than ever. You know, it's been that way for the last 10 plus years. Teddy Bear Poppy.
Right.
Tell the listeners a little bit of what you do.
Well, I'm a musician. I play drums at church. I also am an artist. I sing and I rap. I also write poetry. I'm just a jack of all trades. You know, anything I put my mind to, I do it. I'm lethal with the lip. The speech is impediment. I'm a boxer with this game. You know
one of the things I didn't realize about a lot of musicians is a lot of musicians start in church.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially singers.
Acting too back in the days. I didn't realize that. Like acting back in the days that they start in the church place.
Yeah.
Like that's
pageants.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Like a lot of some of the drummers that because I used to drum when I was a kid.
Right.
And a lot of the drummers that were already in my age group were already drumming for years because they started off at church.
Right.
So I was a beginner.
I mean, if you think about it, especially with like working class families that may not be able to afford instruments, the church has a whole set of instruments right there, and someone willing to teach you for free. All you have to do is play at the service. Of course, you know.
Right.
So is that what you learned? Like
I went to my mom's home church, East Oakland Deliverance Church in Oakland, California, on 73rd International. It used to be East 14th. And I used to sit there as a kid.
Still call it East 14th, huh?
Yeah.
Everybody.
You know, if you really out there, you know what it is, Oakland, right?
Yeah.
So, I used to sit there and I used to watch my older brother play and other people play. And so I learned by watching them. I never really just got on there and somebody taught me how to do it.
New music notes or anything like that? Yeah.
I just knew. Yeah. To this day, I can't really do music notes, but I can hear music and I can play it. So one day I just got on there and I just started playing. And I was like, yeah, I like this. And then the attention that you get from playing, people look at you like, man, he raw with the hands. And I was never really all that great with all that, you know what I'm saying, fills and stuff. But it was just, I felt the music. And that music just played through me. So I played at this church one day, 9 years old. And ever since, I've just been playing. You know, I was in the band in high school, playing the drums. That's what I wanted to do. So,
one of my favorite musicians said this, like kind of what you're saying, because he also doesn't. He's produced other musicians, other artists' albums now, but he said to this day he doesn't know notes. He says the best musicians sometimes don't even know notes. They just
play by ear.
They just play what's needed, whatever the song needs.
Right,
You just fill it in.
Right, and that's how I am though. Like I literally can hear the music and I can just play it from what I'm, you know.
Play what's needed.
Yeah, it's just natural. And shoot, it's worked for me. You know, it worked for me. There'd be songs that I play in church. I ain't never heard the song, but for some odd reason I can just play it because I can, you know, I can feel the melody. You know, I know counts and stuff, but notes and all that, nah.
I mean, you have to know counts as a vocalist.
Yeah.
You know, so that's like 1, 2, 3, 1. All right.
And how long have you been playing drums now for now?
Since I was about 9.
You play drums in the studio for like other people's recording?
Nah,
okay.
I ain't never been that confident to do that.
Because I know that's one of the things a lot of drummers aspire to get to. Because it's like one day you get a good amount of, you know, for someone's album or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's always something that I don't know if that is something you want to do eventually.
Not really.
No?
Not really.
Yeah.
I really started playing because, like I said, I was in church and I wanted to have something like a purpose in church, and that was like my gateway, you know,
into music.
Because I really didn't want to be singing in church. Like I don't like getting up singing in church, you know. But the drums, I get on there and everything. I was real passionate about it as a youngster.
So you sing too. You mentioned you sing.
Yeah.
You rap.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I sing because my mom's had us. Me and my little brother had us singing in the church. We used to go to different churches and sing before she'll get up and like preach or whatever. So yeah, that singing is in there too.
Now, when you record rap songs, have you ever used like live drums that you've generated for the beat or the instrumentation?
I have did like little shows or whatever where I have like played the drums or whatever and kind of like freestyled while I was doing it. Some stuff like that, or somebody else was rapping and I was doing the beat.
Oh, I see. Okay. So you okay. In that, do you like you mentioned, you know, when you say you artist, like you do rapping and do you also do beats and stuff like that?
Yeah, I had started doing beats, whatever, but I felt like that wasn't my avenue.
Okay.
Like I have it here, but to put it like on digitally
Organize
or whatever,
yeah.
that wasn't it.
I see a lot of people have trouble with that, with like putting it together and deciding this is it.
Right.
Because even I struggle with that with jokes. Like I'm gonna, you know, it's never the same, and I can't just like, all right, this is gonna be it right there. Like, you know, that I can see that being a. So you would more live stuff is what you like then, huh? Live, do just performing live. Somebody else do the beats. Hit me up to do the show.
Yeah. That's how I would like to get it down.
You perform live?
I have.
Okay.
I have performed live, like, you know, some stuff with my little brother when he was doing R&B music and rap. You know, I used to get up there and do the little dance moves and whatever like that, just kind of entertain the crowd or whatever.
Yeah.
And did some backup vocals or something like that. So, yeah.
Sounds like you've had a lot of experience. Are you familiar with Anderson .Paak?
That name sounds familiar, but
he's like Aftermath's current hot new artist. He's done a collaborative album with Bruno Mars. He's like a drummer, rapper, singer, producer. Okay. And like he's known most as like a drummer. That's his big musical claim to fame, like from Jump. But man, like the story that you're telling, you're multi-talented. It sounds like, to me, it sounds like you're multi-talented.
Yeah.
I would love to hear more of your stuff. I would love to see you drum, honestly. That's something I've
You got footage of that?
Me drumming?
Yeah. Probably not, huh?
Probably somewhere.
Somewhere? Okay.
Somewhere, you know. Somewhere.
Okay,
somewhere.
okay.
I gotta find out.
Are you drumming at the church right now? Like,
yeah,
okay.
Like after this whole situation is over,
yeah,
I gotta go to the house and pick up my daughter and everything and head on to the church.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Okay. And give the Lord my time.
Yeah. So like as far as like you guys go back, like is that not?
Oh, us? Yeah. No, he and I go back to college.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He was one of the regular folks that I saw hanging around. We had like a shared social group. You're familiar with Suntan?
Yeah.
Nappy.
You know,
Uptown.
Oh, okay. We've had Uptown.
That was actually his sort of realization of the show. Because Uptown, you know, was like, here, listen. You know, everybody that Uptown knows is like, have you heard this yet? And, you know.
Yeah, he was really inspiring for that. Like, I'm genuinely happy for him that he was on here. So when he reached out to me, he's like, hey, I'm going to be on this podcast. I want you to look at it. Tell me what you think.
Yeah.
So I looked at it, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, he got the Tupac, you know what I'm saying, thing going on, you feel me? And I'm like, okay. And I heard what he was talking about. Yeah. Like, I was listening. And then I'm looking at the show, how it's set up and how y'all talking and asking questions. And you know what? I think I want to do this too. I think I want to see what's up.
Yeah.
Because I always wanted to be on the radio, and just never had the opportunity. So I said, well, I may not be able to get on the radio, but this one.
This is modern radio,
right?
This is modern radio. This is some podcasts get more listeners now than radio.
That's right.
And now I'm here.
There you go.
Dream achieved.
Yes, checklist.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
And I'm very appreciative for the opportunity, and I really truly thank God for that. So
that's also why I'm glad. Like he told me you were coming, and I mean we don't know each other.
Yeah.
And that's also why I like that we didn't really talk till yesterday.
Right.
So that because he didn't tell me anything, and I like that because I want to ask you I didn't know what you did. He didn't mention anything. So
okay. Well,
so,
hey,
yeah.
I mean, a surprise.
I had mentioned that you had a catering thing and that you were a rapper.
That's what I was. I do remember the catering. So you also you're a caterer also, all around entrepreneur.
Yes. Chosen and Finesse Catering. It's me and my business partner. We just two individuals that love to cook, and apparently, I eat well,
I feel you. We're gut brothers, man.
Right, and I love it.
You too.
Triplets, man.
Love it. I love it.
It's sorry, Phil. I don't know. No, but yeah. You like to eat.
I love to eat. I love to cook. Mom's taught me well. When my pops was around, he used to cook pretty well. You know what I'm saying? So I just gathered so much experience from watching them cook, watching other people cook. Not really a recipe person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You try to tell me measure this, measure that. Nah, I'm just giving you a dibble, dabble, and it's gonna come out just the way it's supposed to be. Delicious.
You give the dish what it needs.
Right.
Just like you had.
See how the music, I give it what it need.
Yeah.
Food, I give it what it need.
Yeah. And those are the best recipes.
Right.
I heard this chef. He's a famous chef. I forgot his name. He's from England, but he's one of the first celebrity chefs. He said he was doing this speech on food. He speaks in front of thousands, and he was talking about he was yelling at the crowd there's no such thing as fucking recipes. Recipes are just guidelines. You make it how you make it with whatever amount that you make it. There's no such thing as recipe. There is a recipe,
right?
But it's really just a guideline of how to get the idea of it. You're supposed to
put your flavor,
put your own spin on the recipe,
right?
And I believe that's because I like to cook too. I have a food page. I do my own. I had for a little bit I was doing catering, and I grew up with a family that had a catering company. So that's actually what I was going to bring up next with that. And I you can have the same dish in 30 different restaurants, and it's gonna taste like completely different things.
Right. And with me, it's I never make that one dish the same.
Yeah.
It'll still have the same flavor. It might even taste better than the first time I made it. And that's just how I've been. I've always been a freestyler in life. So I freestyle stuff. And so I put a dish to mine and I just go at it because I'm a master of flavor.
Yeah.
I believe the flavor is what brings the person be like, you know what? I got to take another bite. Oh, I got to take another bite. Okay, it's over with. Let me get a second course. Third.
Yeah.
I don't want you to eat too much. You might hurt yourself. But at the end of the day, seeing somebody satisfied and happy about eating your food, that's the ultimate thrill.
It is. I can attest to that. I've had him over for dinner, and I think I made something basic like a burger. and he was like, this is like some gourmet shit. I'm like,
there's something about the flavor.
It's also something about, and I've heard this from a chef. It's something when you cook food with love.
Right. That's the ultimate.
That's what mom's foods are good.
Right.
I'll have something simple cooked by my mom, and it's the best meal, even though it's something super simple. Or I can go get it at a restaurant that's more fancy, but it's something about the food being cooked with love, and you can feel that when you go to certain restaurants.
That's right.
That's probably why sometimes fast food doesn't really click with us.
Right. No, definitely, because it's not made with an ounce of love. It's made with it's made with Mickey Mouse corporate levels of greed.
By someone who's underpaid. And probably, sometimes having a bad day.
Yep.
With quality products that, that's another thing that aside from your own touch, is the the product that you use.
Right.
I want to use the good stuff to feed the people.
That's right.
Yeah.
To me, it's it's not really what you have, it's what you got. You feel me?
Yeah.
This thing is not trying to stay on my head. Okay.
You could make it.
Yeah, you can adjust it if you want.
Maybe that's what. Okay, we back in action. Okay, so it's I might not have a lot of seasoning, right?
Yeah.
But back in the, as I call it, the golden days when my mom was coming up, all they used was salt and pepper.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what
true.
I'm saying? And as other seasonings came into play, they'll add a little bit of there. But shoot, my mom when she was cooking, she used seasoning salt, garlic powder, onion powder, pepper. And you would think she done put all other type of stuff in there how her food came out. But that's where that love come from, because she loved the fact that when we eat, we're enjoying it. And so I learned that was the major key. If I love it, I'm going to put all the effort in it. So when I cook, I'm cooking out of love because I want to see you satisfied. If I don't see you satisfied, then I didn't do my job right. And I don't like to fail. So just thinking about it, man, I'm getting a little hungry. You know what I'm saying?
That's true. Like like when I cook for like when I was with my partner, for instance, I always like it's like an extra like attention to details,
Right.
and care. And
Right.
you want it to cook good, and it really, I think that's what it comes down to, because you could really have, like, I've been to restaurants where it's expensive and like it's like
Right.
top quality, like they tell you the cow's name before they killed it and all that,
Right.
His name was Hector.
Hector.
Hector. You said Hector?
Out of all names, huh? Hector.
Yeah.
He couldn't be Rufus.
It was Hector. They tell you what his dreams were, his favorite things to do.
What they fed him.
Yeah. Like
He loved to
all
listen
that.
to Britney Spears.
Yeah. But then I'll have like a carne asada taco, at a family gathering, and it's like, damn, what do you guys put in it? No, nothing, just salt, and like we cooked it on charcoal, so that's why it tastes good. Like,
Right.
God,
Right.
damn,
We don't even know the name of the cow. It was just cow, damn it.
might not even been a cow.
You better hope it was.
I mean, if it's carne asada, I hope it was.
That's the thing. Carne asada. People think it's beef. It translates to grilled meat.
Oh, so it could literally be anything.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. But
I
now
learned
people associate it with beef, so that's why it's I don't know. I don't know why I mentioned that. It's just
No, it's a good fact. Now that you mentioned it, I remember my Spanish teacher teaching us that carne meant meat.
and in asada it's grilled.
And at some point I forgot.
Yeah.
Because all the menus, carne asada, they just give you steak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing with Mexican food too. Is like, it's like the meat for me. It can be just salt on the meat. But the sauce is where you got to be on point.
Right.
The sauce is, and when I go to a restaurant, if the sauce is bad, I don't even care what the tacos taste like.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I feel you.
And the tortillas, like, are the store-bought ones. I mean, depending on, it's kind of, I have a strict,
I feel you.
because I feel like if you pay attention to the sauce, then you really care. Like,
Right.
Yes.
that's in my opinion, that's a staple of the Mexican food. The sauce has to be
sauce.
good.
Sauce is everything.
It is everything.
I'll never forget the first time I had homemade, like, not homemade, but I saw someone cooking the tortilla cooking them, like cutting the tortilla into chip shapes and then frying them.
Right.
And like I had that experience in high school, and I said I am never going to fully enjoy chips the same way, like tortilla chips the same way, unless I know it's made like this back there. And you can tell when it's store bought and when it isn't.
Right.
No, and I grow my own like tomatoes sometimes to make salsa, and my own tomatillos, like, and that's like, the sauce is really the I go to restaurants and they have wax sauce. I'm already like, all right, where's McDonald's? Where's McDonald's?
Yeah,
Where's
pretty much.
McDonald's?
I'm with you. I might as well be at a McDonald's.
Yeah,
Damn it.
because that's one of the things that like I look for in restaurants that I eat. Like I wanted it to seem like they care,
Right.
and that's kind of what we all, like not just in in food, like in everything, but
Right,
especially
right.
with food, especially if I'm gonna eat it, like, I don't
Right.
want to suffer the consequences later.
Right. And that's how I feel about it too. When I go somewhere to eat,
Even if it's not loved ones eating it, you know.
yeah. I want to be able to when I eat something, I want to be able to enjoy it. I want that flavor to hit me in my taste buds. And that's how I kind of implicate when I'm cooking. I want the flavor to hit you. And if it doesn't hit you, then I got to go back to the drawing board, which I've not had a problem with that because everybody that tastes my food so far has loved it. My mother always brags about the fact that I make some good macaroni and cheese. And so I learned so many different ways to make it, been in contests and stuff. And so I was like, man,
When your mom gives you compliments on it, you know it's good.
Yeah,
Because my biggest like critic is my mom. You know, she's just like, well, you know, you'll do good next time. So when your mom's has your support like that, that's big.
And that's a wonderful feeling to have your mother behind you like that. That's the most best comfort and booster you can have is your mother to tell you, you good at that.
How many cheeses are in this mac and cheese that
You can't tell us that.
I couldn't tell you.
You don't have to tell us what the cheeses are.
I can tell you that the cheese can be multiple different cheeses. It depends on your taste preference.
How can I taste it?
Okay.
How can you taste it?
Yeah, where you go? Like, do you have a pop up somewhere, or we gotta book you for a gig?
Well,
For real.
Well, if you looking for the food that's gonna hit you like Mike Tyson, all you gotta do is reach me at the number or the Facebook or the Instagram or the Snapchat.
Okay.
You know, we'll get into that later.
Okay,
but
yeah. Okay, but like that's why I was like, you don't have like a pop up somewhere where you could like.
Sure. That I can do that on a random.
Oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
No, because I want to try it now that you mentioned that. Yeah.
And so I most definitely, you know, you be like, hey man, you know what? I want to taste some of that macaroni and cheese you was talking about. You know what I'm saying? You can give me that fix.
Well, that's what I was also gonna ask. Like, what kind of foods? What's some of your dishes that you make?
Do I have macaroni and cheese, rice and gravy? I love gravy.
Oh, I love gravy.
So I can make steak, ribs. You have Shoot, we go on Mexican food. You know, I can make quesadillas. I can make burritos, tacos.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the ones with the tortillas, not the Taco Bell shells.
Oh yeah,
The real ones.
The real ones.
I mean, this is Cali. I expect you to come with the real. You know.
Man,
Hey, you know those hard shell ones are popular in Mexico too, but just not the same.
Yeah, sometimes you want crunch and sometimes you want
Yeah, sometimes definitely.
But if I want to crunch, I'll have a flauta. You know, that's more authentic.
Yeah. So, man, I make multiple stuff.
Have you ever had a pop up before? Like, have you done that with your catering business where you're like, all right, we're going to be in Oakland for a week, and then we out, at this location?
Dude, sometimes I pop up at your job. Like,
well, you know what I mean. Like,
Hey, you could pop up at my job anytime.
For real.
Yeah.
Like, on your standard menu for your catering business, like, what's usually on like the menu that you like hand somebody? All right, here's what we're making this.
Let's say I book you for a party of 20.
Yeah.
What's the standard like?
Shoot, well, what I know is popular right now is our what we call them Cali cheesesteaks.
Hello.
In which known AKA as Philly cheesesteaks, but we in Cali, right? So that's very popular. We actually going to be doing that on the 18th of this month. We're going to be doing Cali cheesesteaks. Now, it not also have to be technically in steak form. It can be in chicken because some people don't eat beef.
I'm trying to cut back on beef and just go for chicken.
So they have chicken. Me, I like a mixture of both. That's how I like to make mine. And it can come with lettuce and tomatoes, pickles, or you can just have it sloppy with the cheesy.
That sounds delicious.
Right.
I was craving one of those. I saw some New York guy make one the other day, and I was like, man, I got to get me a cheesesteak.
Yeah, so, you know what I'm saying? And you most definitely going to enjoy that when it comes for me. Because, like I said, I marinate it, you know what I'm saying, sometimes 3 days before. And then, and I tell you a little secret, though, right? Okay. I marinate it, do my thing. I throw it in the freezer. So a day before I get ready to handle my business with it, I take it out and let it thaw naturally. Then I throw it off in there with the onions, the garlic, the bell pepper, you know what I'm saying? All that. See how that sounds so delicious.
That's the thing that like people need to understand. When like you want something to taste good, you gotta let it marinate.
Right.
Like, when I make ribs, I won't share the whole recipe, but like I let them marinate in beer like for more than 24 hours.
Yeah, and I noticed that a lot of people.
I like to use beer as a marinade.
Yeah, people use beer. Some might use a certain type of wine or whatever.
Yeah. That's true.
I use wine for duck when I make duck. Yeah.
You
make
get down with the duck?
Yeah.
I like duck. I rarely ever get a chance to eat it, but I love me some duck.
Yeah. I like a goat too. I make goat underground, like in a fire. I gotta have you try that.
I've never had goat. My little brother told me that goat tastes good, but he had it like from an Indian family. So.
Oh yeah. It's a different taste, but that's also one you have to, for us, marinated it overnight, and we slaughter it. So we gotta let it bleed out so it doesn't taste funky. Because sometimes if you don't bleed it out properly, it tastes funky.
Oh, so that makes a major difference. Huh?
Big difference.
Right.
Yeah.
I see that.
Now, would you say that goat is akin to eating lamb, or is it even more different than that?
Lamb is a little bit funkier, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I enjoy lamb.
I tried lamb. I tried it a few times and I just didn't like it.
It tastes like it went bad. Beef that went bad.
It just don't. I don't know. It has I guess you can say, exquisite taste to it.
Yeah.
And it just not my taste buds.
I think it also.
That's fair.
I think it also like, because like beef, you can literally just put salt on it. I think it's also what we're accustomed to, you know. Mm-hmm. But beef, I could literally just add salt to it and cook it. And that's what I'm gonna do later. You know? But like I made lamb. I made a lamb, like a whole leg. I made it. You had some. I had it. I made it Moroccan style. I looked up a recipe from Morocco, but it was hella seasonings, and you have to marinate it overnight. So like all the garlic and the turmeric and a little bit of curry powder and all that overnight took away some of the funk, or it not took away the funk, but it like
gave it
taste good.
Yeah, I had to like grill lemons and smother it all over. Like, you know, I had to do something to it.
And it's crazy.
I just didn't have saffron because that's expensive.
That is.
It's so expensive.
It's so expensive. I've never heard of it.
It's crazy to think that the Brits, like, their lamb industry is like our cow and beef industry.
Yeah, the
like
mutton over there.
Like the mutton over there, they're eating lamb chops more than they're eating steak. You know, and that's just because we have more land out here.
Yeah,
you know?
And a lot of them get there and then that's a smaller animal, and a lot of them they get that from Australia.
Yeah, that's true.
So I got to try your food though, man.
Yeah, and most definitely. You know, I'm looking forward to that opportunity for you to taste it. And, you know, swap. You know, and shoot, I can develop something new from somebody else because I'm always learning.
We got events, man. So you know. We got some events that we have a chef at one event, but we have another place that we might need, you know.
Yeah.
Bring 20 plates and, you know.
Right.
Here's an idea for you. A duck sandwich.
A duck sandwich.
Wait,
you figure that out for me.
Oh, you cook duck too?
I've have.
Okay.
But it's not something that I cook, you know, on a regular.
You like duck? Is that what you're doing?
I like duck.
Okay.
A duck sandwich.
Yeah. That's a challenge.
Have you ever had chicken salad?
I have.
Have you ever thought about duck salad?
Ooh.
Since you talking about sandwich, that might be okay.
That might be that's a
challenge accepted. I'm gonna get you on that.
I like the idea of like is it Iron Chef?
Yeah.
Have you ever thought about doing like a cooking show on YouTube?
Yeah, I actually, me and my business partner was talking about that, about doing that, and eventually that will be coming into play.
I noticed that a lot of like food YouTubers are killing it right now during the pandemic, because like Food Network shows are trash now. It's all competition.
Yeah,
there's no like that care.
Yeah.
There's none of that on a lot of TV cooking shows. It's all drama. It's yelling. It's a competition. Oh, we got 30 minutes to debone this whole turkey and like turn it into some weird gelatin or whatever. You know?
If you actually want to learn how to cook by watching one of those things, you're out of luck.
You're out of luck, and it's all about the story. The food is just kind of it's like
it's
the
a
real
background
world
character. You know, it's a prop. That's all.
I follow some of these food YouTubers that are just guys who like to cook at home, or they actually work at a restaurant and they're showing you technique and they're showing you one of them's my favorite. I forgot his name, but he's just like a dad from the South, and he shows you how to cook a lot of Southern recipes. And another guy, he used to have his own pop-up. I forgot his name. I forgot all their names, but I've been watching him because I like cooking pasta. I love Mexican food, but pasta is like my how do you call it? It's like therapy. Making pasta is therapy for me. I like making pasta, and I like Italian food. That's like my second.
Pesto. Oh,
yeah. So I watch this guy's YouTube channel. He's from the East Coast, Italian guy from the East Coast, and there's so much like love that he puts into the recipes that like just watching it is entertaining because it's like I'm learning something real, and I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot watching his YouTube channel, and it's nothing like the stuff on TV.
Right.
And I think there's needs more of that because that's why I think a lot of these YouTube food channels have been blowing up during the pandemic. It's a simple life skill that a lot of people don't have.
Right. Not everybody can cook.
That's true.
And I think everyone should know how to at least cook one thing. Like at least everybody should know how to make chicken soup or.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I do agree with you. That's why I'm incorporating teaching my daughter how to cook.
Nice.
Right. So I teach you how to make eggs, but there's a science to making food. Period. So even though you may be able to make eggs, there's a different way of making eggs. Some people like it a little hard. Some people like it soft. Some like it in between. Over easy, sunny side up, medium. So.
And there's so much different stuff you can do with eggs. Deviled eggs.
Yeah, deviled eggs. You can put the eggs in the potato salad.
Yeah.
I love me myself, I don't like putting the egg white in there, but I like putting the egg yolk in there. Kind of like the devil, how you whip it up in the devil egg.
Yeah.
Do it like that and put it off in the potato salad.
Nice.
That'd be straight.
And you think about eggs, everything you could do with eggs. I made custard the other day. Oh, I made custard for the filling I made for those pastries on Christmas.
Ah, yeah, those are so awesome.
It's just eggs you can, and that's it. The science behind all the stuff you can to with eggs.
Yeah,
it's deep.
Eggs,
pancakes, all that stuff. Cakes.
They are a universal protein, man.
Crazy thing about it, though, right? You use eggs for a lot of different dishes, and you may not even know it. And some things you can implicate in it that they don't even say in the recipe. You put eggs in there, and nobody would never know it was in there, and it tastes like nothing happened.
Caviar's eggs too.
I mean, yeah, it literally is eggs,
right?
They're great. What's the word? Coagulate. Because they combine stuff together, and you put them in. We wouldn't have bread without eggs. We wouldn't have ice.
Well, you can have. But yeah,
true. But it makes the bread so much better, right? So in theory,
right.
And that's the thing too. Like, once you understand what you could do and you experiment, you like that opens your third eye to a lot of stuff that you can do in the kitchen and like tweak. For me, I didn't have a smoker, and that's why growing up, all the uncles when we did carne asada, throw all the steak on the grill, and then they would throw beer on top of the meat, and it adds the fire underneath it and the beer on top. It does something to the meat. That's why I wanted to smoke the ribs, but I didn't have a smoker, so I actually, that's why I did the beer thing, a beer overnight. I had other stuff too, but even though I don't have a smoker, I grill them and it tastes smoked.
Right.
That just comes from playing around in the kitchen and seeing what you can do.
And the crazy thing about it is that with the beer or the wine, that there's a certain acid inside of that that actually helps the meat tenderize.
Yeah.
So you get a different feel
Juicy.
of it.
That's why you marinate.
Yeah. That's no, and then
aside from the flavor,
it does something. I think I used to watch this. One of the good shows that I used to watch on Food Network was Good Eats. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah,
It's kind of had like comedy mixed in with it, but he actually showed you like the science, and that's why he said there's like osmosis, they call it, when like you do like a brine, the flavors penetrate the meat on the inside, and it softens the tissue, and that's the kind of stuff that I wish was more like, you know, like that's why I like certain YouTube
just
channels,
breaking down the exact science,
because you know why it is. And that's why I like when my parents, or you know, growing up, they ran a catering business, and they used to tell us, you know, hey, not too much garlic on this recipe, because you know, and it's like, why? Like, oh, okay, all right, and not too much onion on this one, and if you leave, you know, if you don't chop the onions too early, because then they could go bad easily. If you leave, you know, all that little stuff. Yeah, it's like a lot of people don't know.
Right. The detail of it is important. Yeah. Like what you may think is the little things is actually the most important things. Because
no pink poultry.
Oh yeah,
I mean, most definitely. I don't want to get sick.
Cooking is chemistry.
Yeah,
it's chemistry and it's biology. Yeah, and it's potentially the first biochem class that your children could learn at any age without necessarily understanding the science behind it, but just getting a feel for stuff, and then bring that stuff back in later. Oh, you already learned osmosis already. We do that every time we leave the steak and soak. Oh,
yeah.
Right. Make that connection.
The aging thing for beef too, like that's the science in itself.
Yeah,
like,
it is.
Yeah,
it is. It's a science.
Yeah,
it's a true science. Like food and cooking is a science. You know, not everybody can master it. You know, but you master it in your own way. Like, I love making things that I eat, so I cook those better. But I'm trying to expand my horizon, you know, expand that third eye, and get around other people that's cooking too, that can really cook and actually show me something, and then I can implicate that and change it into my own.
Yeah,
I have a.
And that's the beauty. Sorry, that's the beauty about like trying stuff. Because it's like, it's not like, you know, if I did a joke similar to some other ones, it's like, hey, that's, you're fucking stealing. Or if you take a verse from somebody in music, hey, that's stealing. But with food, you could do the same recipe, but it's gonna be different, right? And it's okay, because that's why, you know.
Right.
Yeah. That's kind of the point, is proliferation of this stuff, like just share, and like we were saying earlier about like exacts and following recipes. A close friend of mine does not cook, but she bakes. Her husband is an amazing cook, and she said the reason that she prefers to bake than to cook is because she can't really formulate the recipes in the sense of like, well, what the fuck is a pinch of salt? Because everybody's pinch is physically different.
Yeah.
But with baking, it's like, no, a half cup of flour, exactly 2 eggs, whisk for this much time, put it in the oven, ding. You know, and I'm like, I feel that, because if you're obsessed with the details and you don't want to mess stuff up and you're less free, then I could totally see why somebody would prefer one discipline over another.
Yeah. Right. No, and that's a very true thing, because like I wanted to get my mom's mole recipe, which has like 25 ingredients, and that's a real mole, you know. Mole is a complicated recipe, and the way she measures like the certain seasonings is by the size of the blender.
Smart.
And also she does this with her hand, and whatever she fits right there is like, you know, that much cumin, that much, you know. So that's like her thing, but my hand's bigger.
Right. So you're like, how do you?
So I did it with her guidance, and she's like, you did everything I said, but it doesn't taste right. So
because you're working with different measuring cups.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out how to scale it down.
Exactly.
You know, trial and error.
I did it a couple of times. It's like, okay, this is what it, and that's like, right now birria is popular. You know, birria. You've had birria.
So I had it at your cousin's spot.
You did, and then you had it at my place first. Though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Have you had birria? It's popular right now. The tacos that they cheese,
they dip it in the
broth.
No, I haven't, but
it's good.
I need to try that, because that looked like something I like. I like dipping things.
Go check it out. El Garage in Richmond is my cousin's spot.
Okay,
and they got them everywhere right now though. Yeah. They're popular. It's I believe it's a Tijuana style tacos, you know. But basically, my mom growing up, she catered that dish, and it wasn't, you know, it was mostly popular just in the Mexican community. Right now it's everywhere, you know.
Yeah.
And my mom's recipe was, to me, my favorite recipe, But then my sister started making it, and I like my sister's now even better. And it's the same recipe.
Right.
It's just, that's the thing that like, I don't think science can explain like what the hell it is. It's the same recipe, but it's like, I think it's like a difference in heat or something, but it just, and a difference in how you do it. Like my sister's thing is just letting it cook. Like, yeah, just put it on the pot, put all the ingredients, and just let it do its thing. And
like let it simmer.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Just let it cook like on its own. And I don't know what it is about that, but it's I will never tell my mom that. But
don't do that.
Yeah, no.
She put you in a chokehold.
Yeah, well, she'll never make it again. Yeah. So and it's like that's one of those things that like I always try to like find the reasons why do I like this one better than my mom's. It's like it's a trip, man. Like I'll eat something I've had 1,000 times and it tastes way better just because of a little detail.
Yeah. She might have put maybe a little bit more than or she had it on the flame a little bit longer. It was cooked on gas instead of electricity. Like so it could be something like that.
It could be a million different things.
It could be all different type of things, but that's the science of it. It's so unpredictable. You never know how it's gonna come out. You don't know if it's gonna be better than somebody else's. It could be not so good, but it's gonna do what it's gonna do. How you make it happen. And so with food, that's just what it is with me. It's like, if I eat it and I love it, I know somebody else gonna love it too.
Yeah.
Cause I love flavor, I love taste. Mm-hmm. So with the older generation, you feel me? They didn't have measuring cups and all that stuff. So that's why, mom, she know how to measure it with the hand.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The measure cup right here.
This is the measuring cup.
And it's like, you need 2 of these of the one thing. Like, oh, okay.
Right? And then you gotta, as a kid watching that, right? You kind of gotta really pay attention to detail, because, like you said, my hand is bigger.
Yeah.
So, okay, I might have to put half of what she did in it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because my hand is bigger. You know what I'm saying? My pouring cup, as they call it, is bigger. So I gotta, take a little bit out, and hopefully it still tastes. Because like my mom makes some excellent fried chicken. Basic, right? But she makes it so good, and I've been trying to learn how to make that, and I can't figure it out. I'm like, man, forget this. I'm just gonna make the chicken like I do. Mom's, I can't touch her.
I rarely get fried chicken anywhere because my grandmother made the best in the world, and I just refuse to break that illusion. I'm just like, you know what? I'll eat the chicken fingers. I'll do Wingstop all day, but just regular old fried chicken, I'm like, nah, I've had the best already. Cool.
You know what? A trip about what he just said though, like, I've experienced this when like the recipes I made, like I tried to recreate my mom's mole, right? Mm-hmm. And it wasn't like hers. But then I at the time I was dating a girl, and I gave her a plate, and she was like, "This is the best mole I've ever had."
Right. You see how?
And to me, I'm like, "Nah, the best mole I've ever had
is my mom's,
like,
right?"
And she's not cooking for you.
Never.
But that trips me out. Like, to her, this is the best mole I've ever had. I haven't had anything like this in a restaurant. And like, it's those 36 ingredients.
Right. 36 flavors. Yeah. And it hits you right in your taste buds. How you like that.
Yeah.
And that's really what it is though. Like, it can, and that's what taste is so, like, it's just so different with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because you might eat my macaroni and cheese and you're like, oh, it's cool. Yeah. He might eat him like, oh my goodness,
this is the best.
How you get it like that? Wait a minute, what you putting? You put some crack in there? You did something. You know what I'm saying? And so everybody's
straight Coke.
It's like comedy and music.
Yeah,
it's like,
it either hit or miss.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But you still keep doing it. Like, just to bring out an example, I watched your documentary.
Oh, right on.
I feel like that was needed. You know, right? Yeah. Respectful wise, right? Because first, I'm looking at the situation like this. You're eating this food.
Yeah.
The food must be good because you're eating it really well.
You eat a lot of it, too.
You're a pro master at it, right?
I mean, that pizza was dope.
And then I saw the
pizza.
Yeah, it must have been. Oh, I took the whole thing down. Oh, did you? Oh, man. But then I saw that
I could do it again.
Maybe we try that.
Oh.
But then I saw you doing the comedy, right? And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and I would be honest. When I first seen it, I was like, this guy's a funny looking guy. But I saw the attitude and your personality shine through it, through the whole documentary. I saw how you were eating the food and then you wanted to make a change.
Yeah.
And through the change, you were doing your comedy and everything, and you knowing that your comedy is something that it's inspiring. It's inspiring because no matter if you feel like you're not doing your best, you still putting your best in it.
Yeah. And
you took that same attitude when you were trying to, you know, eat better.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, I look at myself as a naturalist. I'm natural about everything. I don't really consider myself a comedian, but I'm a funny person. My personality is like that. You know, I make my daughter laugh all the time. Shoot, my daughter makes me laugh. You know, and I love to see people laugh. I love to see people smile. You know, I like to be in positive vibes. So, looking at your documentary, it made me realize something. So I really need to get up on here, and I really got to show myself, just because this is who I am, ultimately. Like when we were sitting having dinner, you know what I'm saying, we laughing and stuff, but at a certain point in time, we got serious. And then got right back to being laughter. You know what I'm saying?
That's the show in a nutshell.
Right.
Like,
I call it like a little, that's what I like comedy. It's like a life break, a break on life for a minute. And it's like a lot of the material I talk about sometimes gets a little dark. But that's life.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, you know, whether it's food or whatever, like that's kind of, I never thought about that when you just said it right now. Like, yeah, I'm eating all this food and then I'm making jokes about it because it's like killing me, you know? But it's a way to like kind of just, you know, breathe.
Right.
about the problem. Because it's a struggle. It's a struggle for sure to get healthy. I mean, I've been trying, you know?
Really, believe me, the struggle is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I always looked at myself like this. Am I looking at myself of getting healthy because somebody else tells me that I need to be healthy?
Yeah.
Or do I really naturally want to be healthy?
Yeah.
And what is really healthy? What's really being healthy? Because as I was growing up, they used to tell me, you a healthy looking person. Yeah, I was a chubby boy that nobody really cared about or made fun of.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was handsome, but I was ugly because I was fat.
You're
right?
you're a big boy, healthy boy. Yeah.
Oh, I'm a big boned
strong
person.
boy.
Try to cover that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, up until I, you know what I'm saying, embraced it. So I embraced it. Oh, you a teddy bear. Oh, I love getting hugs from you. Oh. So I embraced it. So even with the doctors diagnosing me with diabetes, right? Yeah. They told me, oh, you got diabetes and you know what I'm saying, if you don't change this, you're going to die and this and this and that. I look at them and I say, the only way I'm dying if I'm not trying. So if I'm not trying to do what I feel is best for me, then I will die.
Yeah.
But because I come from a woman that's a woman of faith, I can't believe what you're telling me. I might see the evidence of it, but I can't believe it because mine is over matter. Right. So what all I have to do is I have to figure out ways to eat better. But I love the way I look. I love the way I feel. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be 165 pounds, 185 pounds is supposed to be the norm. I am not the norm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Long as I can live, breathe, and function with every limbs of my body, I am healthy. And that to me is the most encouraging thing you can tell yourself. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When you can't run and you're breathing hard and you feel like you're about to have an asthma attack, then yeah, I need to change up something. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When I can't have the energy to do stuff.
Can't play drums.
You can't play drums. Can't play with my daughter. Can't hardly work. I gotta change up something. But other than that, I love the way I feel. You know what I'm saying? Me being who I am is what inspired. Because I ain't in no expiration date.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be all these multiple things that I am. I'm a gifted person. You know what I'm saying? I'm a gifted man that touches people's lives with my inspiration, my motivation, my determination led me right here. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with what you say, because sometimes when you get diagnosed with stuff, you kind of can go into a downward spiral.
You can.
Yeah.
You can if you allow it to.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? When the doctor tells somebody, "Oh, you have cancer," the automatic natural reaction is fear. Because now you're thinking, I've seen other people with the same thing and they've died. But a person with the inspired mind to motivate themselves to say, you know what, I'm going to fight this.
Yeah.
I can't let this take over me. That is what makes those people cancer free. It's the determination, because we have powers inside of us.
The will to fight.
You know, I don't know if you're familiar with comedian Dick Gregory.
Yes.
He had this thing where he talked about when he got diagnosed with cancer. He said he had like this thought to himself. He said in his head, he would say, cancer, you got 3 days. You know, after those 3 days, I'm gonna roll on you. He said, you gotta get, like, that's how he was thinking. Like, you gotta get the fuck out.
Yeah, you gotta get out now.
Yeah. Eviction notice.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. You got 3 days. And he said it like with like conviction, and he said he got some treatment shortly after, cancer free.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. It took that mind frame.
Because if you let it deteriorate it can just do that. So
right.
You gotta like, how you handle it. Me, I got high blood pressure. I got all these other issues, because of my health. So like, I'm doing what I gotta do, but I'm also not letting it kill my spirit.
Right. And that's something like I've seen people say, oh, I got asthma. That's my asthma. My asthma. And I used to tell people, and I still to this day, stop saying my.
Yeah.
Because my means that you have accepted that.
Yeah.
It becomes a possession of yours. So I don't go around saying I'm dealing with my diabetes. I say I'm dealing with the diagnosis that the doctor told me. Because I don't accept it. I won't allow to accept it. But I will make the necessary things to get rid of it.
For sure.
Now, asthma is one of those things that you either grow out of or you don't.
Right.
I had asthma. It was good times.
It was good times, huh?
Good times.
Yeah,
I'd be like, I get to sit out on PE today. Suckers, go run your miles.
Right. Believe me, I used it too. I had a pass. I don't get to do none of this. And I wasn't even diagnosed with asthma.
It's like, you want me to climb the rope all the way to here's the note.
Oh, you want me to jump over there? Oh, here's the note.
And I'm big, but I never let it limit what I can do. Like I at my job, you see me back when I did construction, and you see me climbing shit like a cat. Look like Beverly Hills Ninja, but I'll do it.
You a good one.
I gotta eat. And when I have to go under houses with my current job. It's like a what's that? Was that the scene where the
arachnophobia?
No. A scene where the villain from Little Mermaid is crawling.
Oh yeah,
that was me, man. Ursula. Ursula. Under there, like whatever I got to do, like they look at the hole to get in under their house. Like, oh, the customer's like, oh, well, that's too bad. I'm like, no, I'll get under there.
I'll make it happen.
I'll squeeze through it, man.
You got a shovel?
Yeah, like the worm from Bug's Life.
Yeah,
that's me, man. Because I try not to, for a fat guy, like people put limits on what you. All right, I won't stand on something that may break, but like when I'm at a, like I'll climb. I could climb a tree. If you put a tree in front of me, I'll do it. It'll look funny, but I'll do it.
I'll let him do that because I can't do heights. Heights make me uncomfortable.
Me neither.
Like it is crazy because I can get on the plane and it doesn't bother me. But you tell me to climb a ladder, I'm not doing it. We had something back in the high school when we had like the senior trips and stuff, and we had the thing where you had to walk up the thing and you jet or whatever that thing is called. You glide down. I never did it. Yeah. I got stuck midway trying to climb it, and I just wouldn't go. I was like,
you mean like a hang glider?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you got to climb up the little tree thing, and then at the top, then you.
Oh, zip lining.
Yeah, there you go. I couldn't do it.
I used to climb the roof of my dad's work shed, like his tool shed, and then jump off into the grass. And I don't know what. There's something wrong with me, but I good thing I never learned how to skate properly because I probably would have broken a lot of bones because I was just one of those, that. But then once you become an adult, like all right, Then I was doing backyard boxing. It was just but man, I want to say like I appreciate you coming out, man. We could definitely have you back. We'll do a follow up, and I want you to bring some place to one of our shows and have the audience people buy your food.
Yes,
definitely. We could talk off camera. Yeah. Maybe we'll have an upcoming show, and that would be dope because they don't have caterers there.
Right.
And if you're willing to, I'd like to. If you probably just bring the mac and cheese, that in itself,
really.
So we'll talk.
Yeah,
but if people want to reach out to you, ask you where they can get in contact with you or maybe book you for a catering gig or whatever, if you're open to that.
Yeah, if you want to reach me, you can reach me, on Facebook at Dezjion Chozen or Mr. Chozen, MISTAHCOZEN. Instagram, Mr. Chozen 1. Snapchat, if you got Snapchat, Teddy Bear Sexy. I ain't gonna put my number out here because I don't want y'all weirdos hitting me. But you can reach me there, and if you feeling it, get at me, and we can make something happen.
Yeah,
we can make this dream come true. But most definitely, I'm looking forward to every opportunity. I'm trying to take it by its throat.
Amen.
All right. Well, I do believe that this has been an amazing edition of The Voice Party, if I don't say so myself. Thank you very much for your time. This has been The Voice Party, and we're out.
That was an hour right now.
It didn't even seem like it.